All right, so this is a basic diagram of how to search a crime scene. It says a lot of stuff. It's all basically what I just said. So basically what you want to do when you get first to the crime scene, you're going to start out with your butterfly net here, your hand net. You're going to try to collect these adult flies. See these beetles that are running away? They're fast. They will outrun you. Hey, beetles, maggots, pupa are moving. You want to check on the body, natural bodily openings, wounds, underneath the body. You want to try to collect things, then start doing your concentric circles around. You want to have 50 to 60 preserved specimens, 30 to 40 live specimens. Now, the reason for those numbers is you do not want to overwhelm yourself or overwhelm your forensic entomologist when you're sending him or her specimens. I worked one case where they sent me, it was something like 3,300 specimens. It was a ridiculous number. Every specimen I get, I identify, I measure, I photograph, I try to get all, because it's all evidence. So this was one case. I had a couple of interns working for me. This was their first case. They were so excited. I get this like bucket full of evidence. It's like they just took handfuls of the maggot mass or something. They're all dead. They're all preserved. I said, yay, we have evidence. My interns, oh, we got evidence. I dump out these maggots. Oh, those interns were gone so fast. Oh, man, I get through 2 or 3. I look up, nobody else in the lab, just me. So 6 hours later, I'm almost done. Oh, it was horrible. So you want to make sure you keep those things. Now, this just basic crime scene thing. This is just something for you to refer to pretty quickly. It's in most books. It's on the web. It just gives you an idea of what you need to collect. All right. Now, if the body was moved from the scene before you got there, you may have access to the autopsy. That's pretty good. During the autopsy, you'll start by examining the clothing, the wrappings, the body bag, anything else that was around the body looking for insects. So in this particular picture, this is the scene I worked, you can see all of these maggots right along here in the body bag. Right there, right there. Very few actually left on the body itself. When a body is moved, insects that weren't quite ready to migrate while at the scene will just begin to leave. They don't like being disturbed. They say, okay, I guess it's time. They're going to go find a place to pupate or to hide. And they'll hide in the folds of the body bag or the clothes. You will also have access to areas you may not have been able to see before. So places like the sinuses, the cranial cavity, the abdominal cavity. One of the first cases I worked, the body looked fresh. They popped open the cranial cavity. It was full of third instar maggots. It was awesome. I had a great video of it. No one will look at my videos anymore. I don't understand why. Anyhow, so I can't find that video, which makes me sad. So the cranial cavity, you'll be able to get to some of these places. They really frown on you trying to open up the cranium while at the scene. So the autopsy is great for that. Your goal is to collect the oldest insects and then a representative sample of whatever's there. Same as at the scene. 50 to 60 preserved, 30 to 40 live. The major concern with working an autopsy, though, is the specimens from autopsy is that they will probably have been in cold storage. So most bodies don't go directly from a scene to the autopsy table. Instead, they get put into cold storage for however long till you have the medical examiners ready to go. Then they're looked at. So you need to find out the temperature of the cold room and how long the body was in there. Luckily, they're usually at stable temperatures. My local place keeps them at about, what was it, 47 degrees Fahrenheit, something like that. Okay? So you can figure out using the calculations I'll show later on this week exactly how to or how long they were in there or how much they grew at that temperature. But that cooling will affect the growth of the maggots. It will slow them way down, and it will affect your time of colonization interval if you're just using maggots from the body. Therefore, most of the time, I tend to use maggots from the scene if at all possible. That just makes things a little more simple. All right, now, chain of custody. Whenever you gather evidence from a crime, you need to keep that evidence in such a way that you can prove no one else had the opportunity to tamper with it. This is huge. Big, big deal. Once that evidence is in your possession, you should not let it out of your possession until you can safely deposit it in a locked cabinet, in a locked room, somewhere where you can prove only you or only a small handful of trustworthy people can get to it. So in my lab, there's a locked office in which there's a locked cabinet. I'm the only one who could get into both of those places, so I have this chain of custody. going on there. When you do that, you need to log it into your chain of custody form. And a chain of custody form is simply a written record of where the evidence is, who has it, and what you did with it. So this is basically just standardized chain of custody form. You can just come up with your own. What happens when I get evidence from, say, detectives? Say I didn't go out to the scene, I didn't collect it myself, somebody just walks in and says they have evidence. Those detectives will have a chain of custody form. You'll see it has ID, date received, the quantity, description of the evidence. It's writing down everything they're giving me. I will sign that I got that evidence on this date. Then I will check it into my own chain of custody evidence in my locker. Say I locked it up at this date. Then every time I remove that evidence from that locker, I then sign it out. I say, Adrian Brundage, I'm signing it out. This is, what time it was. This is the date. Then, as long as it is signed out, it never leaves my custody. Whenever I have to go to the bathroom, if I have to leave for a minute, I sign it back in and I lock it away. Basically want to be able to prove, nope, I did not walk away from that evidence at any point. It was always under my control. No one was able to mess with it when I was gone. Then when I'm done with it, I will send it back to the detective or whoever sent it to me. They will sign my chain of custody form. I will sign theirs. My chain of custody form will go into the case file here, and I will be able to keep that and just prove when it was in my custody, this is what happened to it. That way, if the evidence is damaged, if it's missing, if something weird is going on, we can try and track back to see where that problem happened and fix it, hopefully. All right. So that is basically how the entomologist works at the crime scene. I'm going to give you a real live example of working at the crime scene. You'll see my crime scene outfit, my kit. We're going to work. I think it's dog poo I was able to find. There weren't any dead animals out on the road today. That was very sad, or else we would have seen a roadkill. There may be a dead animal at some point that I will pull off the road and show you. How exciting for everybody. We'll see if that happens this week or next. If not, oh well. But those will be the next ones. You'll actually see how I work a crime scene. If you have any questions, just let me know.